Hey yo, what's up YouTube man? It's your boy Action Jackson, and in today's video, I will be draft centric themed just because we are only 4 days away from the NFL draft, and I did want to let you guys know that I will be hosting an NFL live stream on this channel on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So all 3 days of the draft, we'll be covering it in full length. I'll be showing you guys my board in length and where I have guys ranked, where I have them going in the rounds and things of that nature. I will be talking about the players in depth also while in stream. But since I am having a draft centric type of video, I do want to give my draft takes before the NFL draft actually comes, Thursday. And really, the video is going to be titled "Players I'm Not Overthinking for This Draft," because I believe there's a lot of overthinking that happens that happens all throughout the NFL draft because there's a lot of teams that have a lot of draft fatigue. We saw it with Kyle Hamilton, we saw it with Lamar Jackson. Crazy how they're both Ravens. There's a lot of overthinking that comes with a lot of these young players that are coming out. So before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. So again, hopping straight into it, we're understanding that it is draft time. It is draft week. We're only less than 4 days away from the NFL draft actually starting. I am making this video on Easter Sunday, so happy Easter to everyone. Pray you guys all have had a great day with the family, and you guys had a great day, great blessings, had a great day at church, or whatever you guys do to spend the day on Easter. So for me, we're going to be talking about the NFL draft and really players that I am not going to overthink come Thursday, Friday, and Saturday when these players do get selected on those days. There's a lot of draft fatigue that happens. I think what happens is a lot of people try to get too cute with the draft process in terms of, they're always trying to say, I wouldn't be surprised if, Matthew Golden is, if a team likes Matthew Golden better than Tedero McMillan, or if there's a draft in which people think Josh Allen, who was thrown to cattle ranchers in Wyoming, thought, hey, he's going to be a higher ranked player than Lamar Jackson, who won a Heisman, and his time at Louisville, and didn't have anybody get drafted in the first round with them out of Louisville at the wide receiver or the offensive side of that position, right? So there's a lot of overthinking that goes on throughout the duration of the draft. You think about Kyle Hamilton, everyone thought he was too slow and thought that he wasn't they thought he wasn't going to be able to play well at the next level, and sure enough, here he is. He's playing in Baltimore again. Baltimore does not overthink the draft process. They do a really great job at drafting, and I really like the way in which the Baltimore Ravens draft. That's why they're always playing in bigger games. That's why they're always competing year in and year out, because they're not overthinking the draft process, right? So, guys, I'm not overthinking. Number one, Tedero McMillan, man. I have a lot of things really to say about this topic because I do think he can be a potential 12th overall pick. But if teams know how to draft, for me, he's not making it to 12 because I don't think he gets out of the top 10 in my personal opinion. I think a team like the Vegas Raiders could possibly pick him up. I think the New England Patriots, if they're possibly thinking about that, or Carolina Panthers, or the New Orleans Saints, or the Chicago Bears, which I don't think they'll do, but the 49ers, or if a team wants to trade up and go get Tedero McMillan, I won't be surprised as well. So, I would love for Tedero McMillan to be a Dallas Cowboy, but let alone just not even just talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Just talk about him as a player and how he fits all 31 other teams aside from the Dallas Cowboys, because when I talk draft, it's for everybody, not just for my team. Again, Tedero McMillan had two 1,300-yard seasons at Arizona with a possible quarterback who's not going to get drafted at all in the draft. If he does get drafted, it will be either in round 6 or round 7. And when is the last time, also, I talked about this in prior videos, when was the last time we talked about an Arizona wide receiver coming out and having this type of production? And I understand the route running. I understand, the separation issues. But if that's all that we have to nag on him about, then, and if you want to make a big fuss about his after catch ability, he has solid after catch ability. I believe he'll be able to make any catch in the world. He was a top ranked volleyball player in the country. He has great body control, the best catch radius you'll find in the draft. I have a comparison on him to, if before he comes in, he will start for you automatically. I think he can be a T. Higgins type of receiver. I think his ceiling can be Mike Evans put in the right system. He's healthy for that amount of years. He's that productive. He has schemes and quarterbacks that can get him the ball. I really do think Tyrell McMillan can be the next Mike Evans for somebody at his ceiling. He comes in, he's automatically going to be a starter for you. He will be one of your three starting receivers when you go 11 personnel, and he'll be one of your two wide receivers starting for you if you want to go 12 personnel, two tight ends, one running back. He will be a starter for you. Again, when was the last time we talked about Arizona's receiver being picked that high? And when we're normally talking about wide receivers that are getting picked this high, they at least have a quarterback that's kind of respectable. Think about it. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. The two quarterbacks that were throwing the football was C.J. Stroud, Justin Fields. They both went round one. Where's that same energy for Tyrell McMillan? He didn't play with a round one quarterback. Why are we disrespecting him, telling him that, yeah, he's going to be selected in the first round, but a lot of people have second round grades on him. In a year in which we're talking about that word, it's not as deep or as talented as it was in years past. Like last year was loaded with talent, right? In this draft class, he's my fifth best player in this draft class. So four players I have ahead of him are Travis Hunter, which I'm going to talk about next, and then I have Abdul Carter, Agenti, and Mason Graham, right? So I have him as a top five player. And you think about all the other wide receivers that came out, they had played with really great quarterbacks, and we didn't disrespect their game. But now we're going to disrespect Tyrell McMillan just because he's 6'5" and he plays football a different type of way. I'm not going to go for that. If he's available to you at 12, you run up to the card. It's not even a discussion. You know, you can have a fake discussion all you want. You see Tyrell McMillan get past the 49ers. They take Armand Mimbu. They take a corner in Will Johnson. You'll be blessed enough to have Tyrell McMillan. You put the card in, and they can fake discuss all they want, but we know who the pick will be if Tyrell McMillan is there at 12. Number 2, Travis Hunter. Why am I even talking about Travis Hunter? He won't be a Dallas Cowboy. No. But I am talking about Travis Hunter because a lot of people are saying, where would you play him? For me, I have him as the best ranked corner in this draft class. He has great film at wide receiver and corner. He's played both at a really great high level while at Colorado and Jackson State, right? So I do believe that he'll be able to come in, and how you're not going to play spot time duties at corner, in my opinion. What you can do in the league, and what we saw with his former head coach, and somebody as a father figure in which he sees in his life, Deion Sanders was a damn good elite corner, punt return specialist, and played spot snaps at wide receiver. Just do the same thing with Travis Hunter. I don't know about punt return, kick return, all that, because he's too valuable of a player for me to put him on special teams, in my opinion. But I will have him as my cornerback one, and he will play cornerback for me. If he was wearing a star on his helmet, he'll be a Cowboy. If he was a Jaguar, he'd be a corner. I'm sorry. If he was a Cowboy, he'd be a corner. If he was a 49er, he'd be a corner. If he was whatever team selects him in the top 5, he will be playing corner for me. And he will be getting some snaps in some scenarios in which he will be playing wide receiver too. But I'm not going to overthink this at all. This is a cornerback one for me. And it could be a damn good wide receiver 2 for you. That's all I'm going to put it. We can talk about the accolades and the stats and everything like that, but Travis Hunter for me is going to be playing corner, and yeah, I will find ways for him to get on offense, but he will be playing cornerback for me. And because it's very hard for you to find, you can get you a really good wide receiver 2 in this league, but it's damn hard to find you a Pastor Tan level type of corner in the first round. That is that dynamic like Travis Hunter. Very, very tough for you to find that. Third player I'm not going to overthink, Will Johnson, man. I understand the measurables. I understand when you're a multi-billion-dollar company and you're spending tons of millions of resources on these players and they're not running, they're not healthy, they put bad tape in their last year. I understand all of that and I completely respect that. But for me, if I'm a team in desperate need of a corner, Dallas, Raiders, Panthers, Jets have another corner because you lost DJ Reed. To the Lions, you want to get another corner opposite of Ahmad Gardner, Sauce, as everyone else knows him as, right? So I would put Will Johnson. Will Johnson for me is a first-round corner. I have him as a first-round graded type of corner. That's what I would do. He's going to come in. He's going to start day one for any organization I just named. The Cowboys, the Raiders, the Panthers, the Jets. He comes in. He's automatically going to be a starter for you. There's just no way in which you're going to dock him down because he played in a terrible season in 2024. You know, they don't have their starting quarterback. They have a new defensive coordinator. And, still a really damn good coordinator, in my opinion, Wink Martindale. You have a new offense. The team doesn't look that bad. You have that national championship fatigue. Players leave. Players get drafted. They had a ton of players drafted. Michigan had a ton of players drafted, and in 2024. So you have to look at that. In 2023, they had a ton of players drafted. So they have a lot of great talent for when it comes to the Michigan Wolverines. And Will Johnson for me is going to be a day one starting corner for you, and I'm not thinking about that, overthinking that at all. I will take him in the first round if he is available to us at 12, and we're wiped out with Tedero McMillan and Matthew Golden. Don't be surprised if Will Johnson is a pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Another pick or another possible day two type of corner only because of injury and possibly because of the school in which he played at was Savon Revel Jr. out of East Carolina. I think what they're going to bag on him about him is the injury, his ACL injury that he suffered, and then also in the conference in which he played for. He didn't play for a big school. Again, East Carolina. Probably Keaton Mitchell. CJ2K. You know very few and in between players that we talk about high enough in the draft that are coming out of East Carolina. Very, very few that we talk about. We had a safety from them last year, damn good. Julius Wood, damn good player. I really liked him. Went to Tennessee. East Carolina puts out some really solid players, right? This is another one. I believe that Savon Reveal can start for you. He can play man really well. He can play zone really well. He has great length. He's 6'2". He fits the part. We talk about competition. Go look at his Michigan tape. Does a really good job against Roman Wilson and all those cats. I think that I know Savon Reveal can play at the next level, and I do think that he is league ready. He is league made, and I do think he fits a part of the cornerback position. He has great speed. I would love Savon Reveal in the second round if I needed a corner. If not, just talking about Cowboys again. If I'm a team like the Raiders and I want to take the best player available like Tedero McMillan or Ashton Jeanty, and I have a guy like Savon Reveal readily available to me, and when I pick, go ahead. Two players back to back, around the same height, around the same stature. Dylan Sampson I talked about in length, and 2 videos ago I had film breakdown on Dylan Sampson, so I'm not going to talk about too much about him. Just other than that, he's a touchdown machine. He has a nose for the end zone, and he led the SEC in rushing. And it's kind of criminal that we're not talking about him as high enough as I believe the draft community should. RJ Harvey's another one. When we're going to talk about another Big 12 back later that I have high respect for because I saw him in person. But RJ Harvey is a damn good electric running back for the USC Knights. And I do think that this is another guy that I believe that your favorite flavor of ice cream when we're talking about these running backs. So there's so many damn good running backs that are going to get selected Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on the draft that it's going to be impossible for you can't really knock down any of these running backs. They're so good. I really like RJ Harvey and the production that he brought to the UCF Knights. I do think he can play for you. Catch out of the backfield. He's a great runner, explosive type of guy. I would take him in the third round, or even you might take him in the second round. I wouldn't hate it if the Dallas Cowboys were to take him in the second round. He's a short stature type of running back, 5'8", 5'7", but damn, he's a damn good player. And I don't need my running backs to be physically imposed. I don't need Eric Dickerson. I don't need, Derrick Henry. It would be great to have those type of physically imposing type of players, but it's great when you can have a really good agile back like that as well. There's different type of backs in which that play in this league. Again, everyone plays football a different type of way, but as long as you're able to win and produce for your teams, it doesn't matter what you look like. Can you play football? Yes or no? Everyone I talked about so far can play football. Number 6, Luther Burden. I don't understand the discourse around this player. There's just no way in which he has all the highest metrics when it talks about route separation, when we're talking about making plays down the field, when we're talking about making plays short and intermediate, when we're talking about getting the ball into someone's hands and watch them go work. And this is all Luther Burden. Great contact balance, can take a hit, get back up. He's great. He can make you burn if you don't tackle him post-catch. He makes a catch, you're not going to be able to catch him. He's a 4.4, 4.3 athlete. He's a damn good player. And again, we're talking about another player that should be selected in the first round, and he's played with a quarterback who's possibly not going to get drafted or if he does get drafted in Brady Cook, it'll be round 6, round 7, maybe round 5 at the latest if some team really likes him and has a plan for him. Luther Burden should be a first round player. When we think about all the people that do this high draft talk football level at a high space and a high clip, we think about Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks, Todd McShay, Dane Brugler. You think about all these guys. They had Luther Burden in the top 5, top 10 of everyone's draft. They had him going to the Jets, the Panthers, the Giants at 3. They had so many times in which they had this player as a top 10 overall pick. And then now all of a sudden, he might be a guy who might be available to you at pick 44 or sometime in the second round. It's criminal, man. Luther Burden is a damn good wide receiver and a damn good player. And watching film on him, man, it's just, man, I don't get it. I don't know why we're overthinking some of these players, but Luther Burden's going to be a first-round player for me, and I would select him at 12 if the Dallas Cowboys are wiped out Tyrell McMillan and Matthew Golden, and the Dallas Cowboys feel like they didn't have to take a wide receiver right then and there that isn't named Emeka Egbuka. I would take Luther Burden, in my opinion. I think the only discourse that is around this player while they're overthinking it is because they call him a diva. What great wide receiver that knows that they can make an impact on the team, a guy that knows that they can go in and make a play at any given moment, and a guy that wants to contribute to high level football and high level football play. Luther Burden's one of those guys. I'm not worried about him if he comes to my locker room. He'll be ready to play, and he'll be a damn good player for anybody if he gets selected, whether that's in Baltimore, whether that's in Washington. I hate that in Washington. If he makes it to the second round and the Giants get him, they got Neighbors, Hunter. They have Neighbors, Hunter, and Neighbors. If they have Neighbors, Hunter, and Burden, come on, man. Come on, man. The next player I'm going to be talking about is Will Campbell. I think the discourse around him really is just his hand size and his hand length. If this was a guy who had the at least average, if he just had average NFL hand size and average NFL arm length, he would be a top 5, top 10 rated player. And that's it. That's a guy, again, another guy similar to Luther Burden, Will Johnson. These guys were at the beginning of this draft process in January, December, late December. Some of us were doing it in October and November. They had him as a top 5, top 10 rated player in the draft. They had him top 15. You know, he's not getting past Chicago. I don't think he gets past Chicago. I think New England will be idiotic if they don't take him at 4. That's what people were saying when they were doing their mock drafts. Now he's a guy that might be available to you, maybe 10. He's still going to get first round selected, but now there's people projecting him going in the second round. Again, if you can play SEC football at the University of LSNU, and you can play in the SEC and do a damn great job at your job at playing left tackle with short arms and short hands or smaller hands, what's the problem? When we're talking about football players, can you play or can't you play? That's what most of these media scouts that just watch the film, watch the games live, that's all we have to go work on. Will Campbell can play. This isn't a terrible locker room guy. This is a guy that can play football. You're just mad because he doesn't fit a measuring chart. Can he play football? Yes or no? Will Campbell is a football player to me. 2 wide receivers I'm going to be talking about. Ted Johnson, Xavier Restrepo, both damn good wide receivers that can play in the slot, can play on the outside if you need them to in a pinch. But these are 2 damn good, really good wide receivers. And I think that if Ted Johnson is going to get rated very low because he ran a 4.6, 4.7, 40. They both ran terrible 40s. They both, again, they don't fit the measurements to everyone's liking. But to me, Ted Johnson, Xavier Restrepo are guys that I would select either on Friday or early Saturday morning. And I would take these guys, and these guys are going to be able to come play for me. They're playing the slot. And damn, I would love if the Dallas Cowboys were able to pick up a guy like a Ted Johnson or Xavier Restrepo. I know we have Turpin. I know we have smaller stature type of wide receivers. But again, everyone on this list to me is a football player. They're ready to come and play football. And I believe Ted Johnson will be able to do that at a great high level. Same thing with Xavier Restrepo, a damn good route runner. Played in the SEC, played with Cam Ward in Miami. This is the best wide receiver at Miami. part of the reason why Cam Ward is going to get selected #1 overall, plus all the work and everything and all the winning that Cam Ward was doing at Washington State and at Miami. So all the team effort, but Xavier Restrepo is a damn good wide receiver. So is Ted Johnson. I will select those guys in a heartbeat if I had them available to me. Last but not least, man, I believe the best Big 12 back there was last year, a guy that I would take in the 3rd round, is Cam Scotabo. Again, watching him in person, going to the rival high school, and just watching him play football. Was he the best athlete? You can make an argument for that, but something that you can never do with Cam Scotabo when you saw him leave from Rio Linda at high school, went to go play in Sac State, left Sac State, went to go play for Arizona State, my current university that I'm attending, and he's just been the best football player that you have on your football team. Guy is going to be the first one in, the last guy out, going to be great in the locker room. It's going to be a guy that's going to be great in the weight room, a guy that's going to get the job done, a guy that he's going to take part of, listen and film. He's going to do everything, listen to his coaches. He's going to play football the right way. He's going to be in shape to play football. This is going to be a damn good running back and somebody that I believe that can start for an NFL team. And this is a guy that one of these playoff teams will be fortunate enough to have. If you're Kansas City and you don't want to pay Isaiah Pacheco, this is your back. Buffalo, you're having troubles with James Cook. This your guy right here. I think he fits perfectly for me in Buffalo. Cold weather game. You don't want to tackle somebody like that who can break tackle, great contact balance, put us on the map when we went and beat Utah, #10 overall at the time in October. We go beat Kansas State and Kansas State. He has a damn good game against BYU, Sam Levitt, and Cam Scotabo. The reason why we were even remotely close, Quinn Ewers as well. But, offensively, we're talking about for the Arizona State Sun Devils, Sam Levitt and Cam Scotabo put up a damn good performance in the second half. And that was the main reason why we were able to come back in that game. The reason why we even got a first-round bye was because it was Cam Scotabo and what the defense did, but also what Cam Scotabo did against Iowa State in the Big 12 championship game will not go unnoticed. This is a guy, again, when I talk about a guy that can find the nose for the end zone, this is one of those guys. This is a damn good player, a damn good football player, damn good person. This is a damn good character. This will be a guy that if he's selected at the end of Friday, very early Saturday morning, he's going to be an impact player for you, and he will be either, if not leading the rotation of the running back, he can be your workhorse running back, or he'll be a damn good spell running back for, I have him comped to David Montgomery. You guys know David Montgomery plays for the Detroit Lions. He has a great role with Jahmyr Gibbs. If you want to have Cam Scotabo in a system like that, I would definitely do it, man. Again, players that I'm not overthinking, I talked about already in depth. We should not overthink this draft process. It should be fun. We shouldn't be overanalyzing. Yes, go back, watch the film. If you saw Luther Burden at the early in the draft process, watch him again with a different set of eyes after you watch all these wide receivers. What do you still think about Luther Burden? Does your notes change? Does your feelings change? What changes in what you feel about some of these prospects, right? So, for me, I like the players while I got them. We're going to have a great draft. We're going to have a great stream. And, man, let's go. That's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Bye.